A lot of people have been reacting to these two, and I want to react to them as well. Not just react, though, but to also analyze what they say, because while I understand that it's easy to make fun of them, and I don't blame anyone for doing it, especially this particular one there, they are not actors on a TV show. These are real people. And this is a real mentality that has been instilled upon them by the left wing that they have engaged in, whether it's through Reddit or Blue Sky or whatever else. I don't know exactly what they've gone through. I mean, I could take some guesses at what this particular man's gone through, but this is real life. And I had said yesterday in my video about Marco Rubio's speech regarding anti-left wing terrorism, the extremists and radicalization of the left wing and their violence and all of that. I don't believe that stopping Antifa really means anything. If you even can stop something that can just pop back up. It's the left-wing mentality. It's their politics. It is the politics that they have pushed through a pro-female, pro-black, pro-gay, pro-whatever narrative that they can. Anything that they can use to vindicate and validate people and push them towards extremist ideology. And now it's not, this isn't Antifa. You're not looking at Antifa. You're looking at just a guy. This is just a guy who's drunk too deeply of the left wing's well. And this is what's happened. This is what normal people have to deal with. When you go on the internet, you are afraid to say your truth. You're afraid to talk about yourself and what you really believe in, because anyone can cancel you. They can attack you. They can dox you. They can literally ruin your life. And it doesn't even have to be someone who lives in your country. It could be someone from a foreign country, because the real pit of all of this, the bone behind it all, is that we live in a corpocracy now. You can get fired from your job because some person in a foreign country exposes what you've said on the internet. And your job says, well, that's bad for business. You can get kicked out of your university because they say, oh, well, that's bad optics for us. It's not really like legal to do that, but yet it still happens all the time. You can't have an opinion. And it's not Antifa that's keeping you from having an opinion. It's random people like this who walk among us, and they exist. They're not characters on the screen. This is a real person. And I think Marco Rubio, and I'm not blaming him, obviously, but the entire government and their agenda, they're starting with the extremist, radical, violent people, and I understand that you want to start small, but Antifa doesn't really bother the average person. I mean, it's not to say that they're fine. I'm just saying that it's the politicians pushing the message that are really causing the issue. It's the universities and the employers who are bending knee to this that are really causing the issue. They're the ones who are creating these blue hairs with pronouns, and they're the ones who are bending knee to them, kowtowing to them, and allowing them to get whatever they want, which is the way of a liberal. You will obey me, I command you to, and if you refuse to, I will scream in your face until some mother hen comes over and Karens you into obeying me, and then I'll get what I want, and you'll be cancelled. So, first I'm going to do blue hair with pronouns here. Nice chance to take a look at his upside down stormtrooper shirt, and then I'll go on to Mr. Arsonist here, starting with blue hair.
Officers responded to a college campus in reference to a disturbance.
What's the problem?
Why do you let those kids get away with this? They are not supposed to be here!
Right. So, I mean, right off the bat, the cop just says, what's the problem? And the man responds by screaming at him loudly and weirdly. Now, I mentioned the stormtrooper shirt. It's also a good chance to take a look at the rest of it. The Barbie shoes that they've got on, and the stripy uwu socks or thigh highs. There's an old meme, an old internet meme where boy exists, and then you put thigh highs on them, and boy is suddenly girl. I believe that there are far too many people in this world right now who think that's actually how it works. You're not transgendered just because you put on stripy thigh highs. Sorry to break it to you.
You don't lower your voice, I am going to put handcuffs on you, and I'm going to take you to a Baker Act facility.
The guy is not screwing around. He knows exactly what he's dealing with right off the bat, and he's just letting them know how it is. But that's not good enough. Not for liberals. No. You obey the liberal. Remember that. You will always obey the liberal, for so long as the liberal exists.
Lower your voice.
Fucking try it.
And there's the threat.
Are you threatening me?
You're threatening me.
You're threatening me. He threatened him, then he instantly, with the very next line, played the victim. Effing try it. You're threatening me. This guy, by the way, the dude next to him, he's got like a patch on his shoulder. I don't know if he's a security guard or what. I know that he is so done with this, though. He was done before it even started.
Are you threatening me?
I'm just.
Because I'm here right now.
I'm just. Just is such an interesting word these days. You can just say just about anything, and I don't even know what the word is supposed to imply anymore. I mean, here I'm just. He's just doing what exactly? He's screaming like a lunatic, threatening police officers? That's what he's just doing.
Now to deal with a stolen vehicle. I ain't got time to hear you screaming and yelling.
I don't have time to constantly be abused.
We'll get...
And there, the pity. I don't have time to constantly be abused. You're harassing a cop and screaming like a lunatic, annoying everybody else, causing all these problems, but it's him that we have to worry about. We don't have time. He doesn't have time. His time is more important than your time, and you can't abuse him by asking him to be quiet. That's abusing him. It's his right to scream loudly.
We'll get OPD down here then, because I gotta work this stolen vehicle.
What do you mean,
So he's working a stolen vehicle, and now he's got to deal with this crap.
OPD?
Alpha 73 University.
Alpha 73?
Can we get another unit to deal with Jay Lee here? He is having a breakdown.
You shouldn't have misgendered them. You see, that was the problem, really, of this officer. They pushed his buttons. A thing that they will say later on, a thing that the Redditors have said in defense of him. They pushed his buttons by calling him he, because it's so obvious that they're transgendered, right? It's so obvious that they want to go by the pronoun of she, right? Doesn't everything about this person scream she? Besides, their face? And you don't do that to a police officer. Unless, frankly, I think at this point, I would have pulled a gun out. They don't even pull the taser out.
Just say the right pronoun!
What'd you say?
Just say the right pronoun. Yes, he pulls out the pepper spray, and you can see that the badass instantly turns into a pussy. And this is the most interesting aspect. These people on the left, they don't understand that this right here, according to the report that I've seen, is I think he was 26 when he was arrested at this point in time, a 26-year-old man. You don't get to wear thigh highs and pink shoes and go up and scream in people's faces. You're not a 4'8" woman that weighs 85 pounds. You're a grown man. You're a grown man that looks like they probably weigh around 200 pounds. You don't get to go scream in people's faces. Not that women should do that either, but you don't get to do that. And honestly, again, like, pepper spray is not enough. I don't think it's enough anyway, because if this person was inclined, they could have rushed that cop before he even pulled it out.
7351.
Get down on the ground right now.
No!
You're about
Refusing to comply with a police officer.
to get sprayed.
No, just
Get down on the ground right now.
leave me alone!
I can...
Leave me alone. So again, like, this isn't just about making fun of them. Leave me alone. They're trying to say that the police officer is the bad guy, whereas they are the good guys, good girl, I suppose. They are the victim. Leave them alone. Just let them do what they want to do. Just let trans people exist, right? Isn't that what they say while holding a knife in their hand?
Come in there.
Leave me alone, please!
Okay, are you gonna calm down?
I don't know what the hell they're trying to do with the mailroom there.
I'm getting my phone out. I have to
Okay.
feel...
Now, here's the thing. This person is not trans. A lot of men are putting on thigh highs and claiming that they're women. You're just a cross-dresser, like the Maine senator who's running for their... you're just a cross-dresser. You're not trans. You're not doing anything to be trans. You're just a cross-dresser. But that said, this mentality of needing to take their phone out to, like, defend themselves as if it's some sort of unstoppable shield, that is very girl-coded, I'll be honest. Like, that's what all women do. They think that they need to constantly record everything, which, by the way, to any women that might be listening, it's incredibly annoying, knowing that somewhere, no matter what you do, there is going to be a woman recording everything you do, everything you say, and posting it on the internet. It's super annoying.
I'm telling you, are you gonna calm down?
I
No
will-
charge of
I will
police.
calm
Literally shaking.
down! I will calm
Do you know what this is?
I
This
will
is
calm
OC
down
spray.
when you get the pepper spray out of my face!
So, again, what they said right there is, I will do what I want to do when you do what I want you to do. You take the pepper spray out of my face, and then I'll act however I want to act. So, again, it's a commandment. They're commanding you to do what they're telling you to do. And then, once you've complied with their commandment, they will do whatever they want to do.
Alpha 73.
Leave me alone!
I have
Just please!
pepper spray and this individual
Just stop!
Again, remember, all of this is a commandment and a portrayal of the officer as the villain and them as a victim.
Pointing the pepper spray at me! I will calm down if you do that! Stop threatening me!
Stop threatening me.
Lower your voice.
And which of those two people do you think seems more threatening? The unhinged, grown 200-pound man, or the police officer who's calmly handling the situation with non-lethal, really non-violent methods?
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Do you want to get tased?
I want you to leave me alone! You have been particularly abusing me!
If you come,
You did it!
if you come towards me one more
You
time,
follow me!
you are gonna.
And stop abusing me!
And then we have some random person interjecting here on the right. I can't pick up what this guy's saying, but I get the feeling like it's just one of those helping hands, you know? There's always someone who wants to help the liberals get their way. Always some woman who wants to help protect them, the innocent victim. They don't really seem like an innocent victim here, though.
I gotta deal with this story. I gotta deal with this story.
Don't you remember?
Jaylee, don't
He's a
focus on me, okay?
Focus on me. Focus on me, he says. Like it's like a little dog or something, like an autistic baby. Focus on me. I need you to focus on me. There's always people having to wrangle these it's an adult male who is screaming violently in people's faces and throwing a tantrum, and they're treating him like it's a baby, like it's a toddler or something. Nah, this is not going to lead to a good society, is it? It's not going to lead to a happy ending. What it's going to lead to is having a bunch of autistic children ruling the country and allowing criminals to get whatever they want.
97. 13.
Okay?
Get away!
You don't tell me where to go.
Stop.
Fuck you! Fuck you, cop!
Alpha 73.
And there it is. He knows that the guy's just screwed up. He's given up. You shouldn't have even tried to begin with. It was obvious that you shouldn't have tried to begin with. Maybe it's like his job to do it. Like maybe he has no choice but to try and stop him. I don't know. He's a counselor or something. He seems like a real adult, so I don't know. But even the attempt, you're giving people life jackets. Like you just kind of let them drown.
Jaylee,
I want to be away from
No,
him.
it's too late now. It's too late now. He's gonna be taken away.
Shit!
Jaylee, you need to stop.
It's taken.
I just want to get away from him.
I understand that.
He needs
Shit!
He-
Shit! Stop misgendering me! Just say she!
And the gloves, he just calmly starts putting gloves on. You got the other officers shown up on the right, and then there's this woman. Everyone's looking at this, and I really do wonder what some of them are thinking. Like, because is it pity? Is it disgust? What exactly are they thinking? And again, this person sitting there saying, I just want you to get away from me. The only reason they're even talking to you seems to be because you're screaming like a lunatic. He had said earlier he showed up for a car that had been stolen, right? And now he's having to deal with this. He specifically said he didn't have time to deal with all of this. So this person's brought it on themselves. And this person will bring they will bring themselves onto the rest of the country, the rest of the world, if allowed to do it.
Alpha 73.
Josh, can you please just tell them to use the right pronouns?
Yeah, so for the rest of this video, you can watch it on Inside the Blue TV. I'll put a link, but the rest of this video is just them getting arrested. And again, it's a lot of screaming and crying, and the cop has a taser at one point. I can't tell whether or not they use it, but they certainly give a little zappy zap to let them know that they have it. And I can't play the whole thing because it's a 10-minute long video, and I've already been recording for 11 minutes. Plus, there's the other video to go through, so I don't want to spend too long on it. But you can see that this is what it is to be an extreme, hyper, dyed-in-the-blue left-winger. This is what happens when your stepmother is Reddit. This is what happens when your father is Blue Sky. This person is completely mentally brain-fried, and there's no good from giving in to these people and letting them have what they want. They are supposed to fit in with society. Society is not supposed to fit in with them. And remember, always remember, liberalism is a commandment. Liberalism is someone telling you that you have to obey them. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's women, if it's gays, if it's skin color, if it's gender identity, if it's religion, anything that comes at the cost of liberalism is someone saying, you will obey me or else I will kick and scream and cry and point fingers at you and call you the bad guy and demand some hover mother to come over and protect me. The only way that ever really stops is when you just put your foot down and whip out the taser.
Please! You know it's causing me a lot of distress.
I need you to bring it down here, though. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you very nicely. Put your stuff down, turn around, put your hands behind your back.
On the 70 Riley over here.
Not going
Put
to be arrested.
Put your stuff down.
Over here.
No.
Put your hands behind your back.
No.
Okay, so
You just trying to get
I'm
on
only
Riley.
gonna ask you one more time. You can record all you want, but it's already beyond that point. We already tried.
You're stressing me out.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just asking you to
Yeah,
please stop
we,
stressing.
we already tried to help you. So
No, you didn't.
yes.
You came in with hostile intent.
Put your hands.
Be alone.
Get on the ground right now.
Don't hurt me.
Get on the ground right now.
Don't hurt me.
Get down on the ground right now.
Hey. I got a couple.
Okay, I wanted to play just a little bit more of that so you could see him getting arrested. And you could see the officers calmly asked him over and over again, and he refused. He just refused to be arrested repeatedly. And, well, again, you must obey the liberals. Now, moving on to this other guy. This guy's far more irritating to me because you can see he's very rational, he's intelligent, and it's not like he is some complete psychopath who is without helping, right? Like, this guy is someone that it's frustrating because, like, a lot of the times, for instance, with art, people will say, like, it could have been good. Like, the game could have been good. The movie could have been good. Well, anything could have been good. But sometimes you have something that really is just a hair's width away from being good. This guy is kind of like that. Like, it feels like he just took one step off the path, and that led him to where he is. He doesn't seem to be in any kind of mentally deranged or anything like that. I know someone might say, well, like, did you know that most sociopaths are highly intelligent? Yeah, okay, well, all highly intelligent people aren't sociopaths, and this guy seems to be pretty normal, but he's just, sometimes all it takes is one step off the path, and then you're screwed. And this guy's seemingly even regretting ruining his life by the end of this, because he's very apologetic when talking to the police officers. Even as he's explaining what he's saying, he's constantly trying to catch himself. He's doing mental gymnastics at times, but he's also, like, openly admitting, like, you can hear him arguing with himself as he's explaining it to the police officers. And it's very frustrating to me because it feels like if it wasn't for the liberals, this guy would just have a normal life. He wouldn't have ruined his life like this. He wouldn't have become what he is if not for the Democrats telling him that he needs to, commanding him to go out and fight for their sake, to die for their sake. And, well, this is what's become of it.
Responded to reports of a fire outside the district office of U.S. Congressman Glenn Grothman.
Whatever squad is behind, if you can bring your squad up in a fire extinguisher, it's on the back side here. It's just some garbage on fire, looks like.
Can you move your car? Can you move your car, please? I'm the one who did it. I set the fire.
You set the fire?
I set the fire.
Why'd you set the fire?
I don't like Republic Representative Glenn Grothman.
So you set the building on fire?
I set the building on fire.
All right, come over here.
Now, I'm going to skip the arrest because it's very calm. Like I said, this guy is intelligent and reasonable. He doesn't protest. He doesn't cause any problems. He doesn't say, "Ow, the cuffs are too tight. You know, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Call my mom." He's completely up and up about all of this. He just complies with everything they say. He gets in the car, no big deal. So I'm going to skip all of that. I just wanted to show that he's just waiting there. He didn't run away. He didn't flee. He's there. He confesses. It all goes smoothly. And again, it's just someone who's he's just been convinced of something because he's surrounded himself, I don't know, Reddit, Blue Sky, whatever. He's surrounded himself with certain people that have convinced him of certain things, and we'll get into it as he's in the interrogation room.
How did tonight start for you? I mean, were you at home in Menasha or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I was at home in Menasha.
Okay. What brought you to Fond du Lac tonight?
To set fire to Glenn Grothman's office.
Okay. I guess why? I guess.
Because of his role in voting for the ban on companies such as TikTok, which I believe is a grave violation of our Constitution. And in the past, unrelated to these, I have tried peacefully protesting, and I've done peaceful protests, and other people have done, and I think peace is not really an option anymore. So I set fire to his office.
Right. So clearly that's a bit extreme, but you can hear some of like the talking points of the left. It's just, this is like the Luigi Mangione fetishization, where peace is no longer an option. So we have to get a gun and go out and do what needs to be done. The question is like, is that actually what needs to be done? Are you correct? And what happens then? What happens to all the people who disagree with you? I mean, there's more of them really in the average case. And so this is what happens with these young people, and whether the Democrats know this or what, like maybe they know this and they want this to happen. Probably. I mean, it's not like it's some sort of secret. It's documented all throughout history. Young people are impulsive. They're brash. They're easy to manipulate. They've yet to have life ruin their life, because that is what happens as you get older. As things happen to you, your life gets ruined by life itself. So these young people who've never really had to struggle, they're projecting misery, but they've never actually suffered, and so they're this very empathetic bundle of problems that is trying to solve everyone else's problems. And a lot of the times it ends up some guy going out and, well, usually it's something more violent than this. This guy said he doesn't have any intent to hurt anybody, but it's lucky that he was more intelligent than most of these people.
Okay, so this is a lot to do over him voting to ban TikTok, is that correct?
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, he's my representative, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm just trying to understand. Okay.
Right, yeah, no, of course.
So he said he's my representative. Later on, he'll specifically mention that he voted for this guy. So he feels some personal responsibility for this, which is, that's a lot more than most people feel when they vote for something. This guy, I don't know if that means anything on a neurological level, but he feels something deeper tied to his vote, which, again, that's a very nationalist mindset. And I say this about a lot of the Democrats. I think that a lot of them are nationalists who really do want to make their country better, but they are simply misguided in doing that based off of all the narrative that they've heard for their whole life. Jon Stewart and things like that telling them their whole life, every time they turn on the TV, teaching them leftisms. And so the instant they hear something that's not a leftism, they think, whoa, this is brand new. But in reality, it's not brand new. It's how the country was founded. And the left are the ones trying to change that.
What were you hoping of? I mean, what was going to happen today? What were you wishing to happen?
I would have liked if the fire was bigger, but it wasn't. And I would have liked if it would cause, I guess, inconvenience, harm to the facility, not to anybody in person, but
Okay.
To disrupt, I guess.
Okay. Did you think anyone was inside the building tonight?
No.
Were you hoping that anyone was inside the building?
No. I don't want to hurt anybody. Not physically.
Okay. So, what's his name again? Sorry.
Glenn Grothman?
Glenn Grothman, sorry. Were you hoping to harm him tonight in any sort of fashion?
Not him, no.
Okay. So more or less you're hoping to cause disruption tonight?
Right.
Okay. Did you want the whole building to burn down, or?
Well, no, since I know it has other, facilities in there, but, I mean, I targeted his, and if the others, had problems, then, collateral damage, but no, I wanted to, harm his building, and I know.
So he wanted to harm the building. He didn't want to harm anyone else's building, but he knows that the building has other offices in it, and there's other buildings around which would take smoke damage and stuff like that. And he just considered that to be collateral damage. An easy mindset to have when you tell yourself, I'm not going to actually hurt anybody. But again, when you're young, you don't... And I'm not saying that you actually have to suffer. You can learn things like this through deep study. You can learn of the empathy that you need to understand to comprehend other people's lives without personal suffering, which is what I alluded to earlier. But study can teach you of other people's sufferings well enough on your own. Young people are so impulsive that they tell themselves, well, I'm not going to hurt anybody, so it's not really a big deal. It's just a disruptance. Burning down someone's building, their office or whatever, like, you do a lot of damage to that. Like, you think about, like, someone near me, 2 houses down from me, a house fell on their house. A tree fell on their house one night during a storm. It took a year for that to be repaired. And it wasn't like their house got pancaked. It was just two of the roofs got a little bit smushed from a tree falling on it. It took a year, and you have to move out of your house. A year of critters, bugs, dew, mold, whatever happening in your house. A year of all of that being repaired, and that's assuming that you've got it insured or whatever. And that's just an act of nature, of course. But this is you deliberately setting fire to the building. You're going to ruin it. And even if it doesn't burn their other buildings to the ground, their other offices or whatever, they're still going to have smoke damage. They're still going to have smell in there. And some people are more sensitive to things than others. So it's just very easy, is what I'm trying to say. It's very easy to do mental gymnastics to tell yourself that you're not actually hurting anybody, or that what you're doing isn't over the line. I mean, yeah, no, he's not actually hurting anybody. He didn't have plans to hurt anybody, and I do think there should be some lenience on him for that regard. But at the same time, you have to be careful with how you dole out lenience and mercy, because some people, I don't think this guy, but some people are truly wackos, and they'll just say whatever they want to get out of any trouble they're in, like the blue hair from before. He's like way more salvageable, is what I want to point out.
That he has other offices, and I know it might only end up harming me in the end, but I guess I kind of wanted to send a message that I was tired of the way that our country's going.
Okay. How did you start the fire?
With gasoline. I used a match.
Okay. Did you have like other materials or?
No, just gasoline and a match. Or I had matches, but I just used one.
And that just started the side of the building on fire, or?
Yeah, I originally was going to go in the front, but it seemed like he relocated his office at some point, so I drove to this location instead of the other one. And the door was harder to get into, so I just didn't bother trying to break the door in, or because I wasn't really prepared very much. I just had stuff that could have broken glass, but not that type of glass. Okay. So I knew I wasn't going to get in, so I just set fire to the electrical stuff in the back.
You see how straightforward this guy is? Whereas the other person, you couldn't even get him to respond. He would just scream in your face. Like, can you see how just one wrong step led to this? And if it was one right step, this guy would be just living his life normally, doing whatever you could imagine him doing, and without setting buildings on fire. And it's just so frustrating to me.
You said that it's your dad's car. Do you live with your parents?
Correct.
Or?
I live with my parents.
Okay. Do they know that?
No, they had no idea. I waited until they were asleep.
You waited till they were asleep?
Correct.
Okay.
I didn't want them to be involved at all.
Okay.
I know. I mean, obviously, I know it's going to affect them, probably a lot, but I didn't want them to have any kind of responsibility.
Okay. Do you have a job or anything in college?
Yeah, I have a job. I work at Motomart gas station.
Nice. You in college or?
No.
No, not in college. Gotcha. Was there anything else you were wishing to happen tonight?
I guess just to send a message. I mean, I don't know if it'll be received. I don't know if either way, but honestly, I'm really tired of the way that the entire world is going. And honestly, I didn't really feel like I was throwing anything away, because I don't really feel like there's that much. I mean, I have family, I have that stuff, but I mean, to be honest, I don't really want to live in a world that is going this way. And, sure, we might have it better than some other countries, but I feel like we're going down a pretty bad path. And so...
And that's really frustrating to me. It's like he's doing the mental gymnastics of saying that we have it better than some other countries. I mean, we have it better than like any other country, really. And that, I'm not just saying that as some sort of like narcissistic Americanism. I'm saying, like, what country has it better than America? Honestly, where would a black person be better off? Where would a woman be better off? I mean, look at what everyone's allowed to do and get away with it. I mean, you're allowed to do anything in America and seemingly get away with most of it, even criminal acts, without so much more than a slap on the wrist. What other country has it better than America? And again, you can hear him, like, he doesn't want to cause his parents any problems, but he doesn't have anything to live for, right? And that's sort of like the most tragic thing, is like young men with nothing to live for. And of course, I've felt the same thing as a man, as a young, youngish now, but I was young at one point. I've felt the same thing. You have nothing to live for. But again, that's why I say nationalist. Like, this guy is willing to lose his life, basically, because he says he has nothing to live for, and he's willing to go to prison to make the country a better place. Now, once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, this guy would have been a soldier, he would have been a politician, he would have been something else entirely, maybe nothing even having to do with the government, but he would have just been having a normal life. But because politics has been gamified to such a way, he's surrounded by it for all of his youth, and that's all he hears, and he feels like it's... I don't want to say he feels like it's bigger than it actually is, because it is a big thing. That's why I'm making videos on YouTube, but people get kind of lost in the sauce. Like, the reality is that this guy seems to believe that America, and a lot of Democrats believe that America is changing, and it's been changing, but it's been changing because of the Democrats. And he said he voted for this Republican, which is the interesting part of this, because he voted for the Republican, and as someone who's in Ohio, you could just assume that maybe, as a white male in Ohio, you could assume that he's a Republican, but he's now burning down the Republican's office. So I think I did call him a Democrat earlier, and maybe he's a Democrat, maybe he's not. I mean, I don't even know what a Democrat is anymore, but he's burning down Republican buildings because he's mad at what the Republicans are doing. And I mean, it's hard to call yourself a Republican when you're voting for someone and then you're burning down their building because of what they did. So I don't know. Are you really a Republican? But my point is that the Republicans aren't really changing anything. They're keeping the status quo as it was about, I don't know, like 50 years ago is sort of what they want to go back to, more or less anyway. Whereas the Democrats, well, for the past 50 years, they've been the ones changing things. So when you say you don't like the way the country's going, well, what exactly does that mean? He mentioned TikTok and he mentioned the Constitution, but, well, he's going to speak a bit more and we'll get there. And I'm probably going to cut out little bits and pieces of this because there are a lot of sort of pointless questions. He answers them completely when he asks, like, where'd you get the gasoline, stuff like that. But I'll probably cut out some questions.
Maybe my actions were the most peaceful, but I don't think that peace is the direction for me to take anymore. Or at least, no.
I mean, for almost no apparent reason, I just ruined the course of my life, and so it almost feels like, maybe I would have just rather.
But you're still alive, so that's the important thing.
Yeah, number one, we're glad you're alive. Number two, it sounds like you've been going through a pretty difficult time. So I'm sorry that you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Mm-hmm. I understand, that like you said, you had some disagreements or you weren't happy with the congressman's decisions or behaviors or actions. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what that, like what you're...
Yeah, so basically yesterday was also the day that that the ban that affected TikTok happened. And if it was just the banning of a single app, or if it was just, TikTok going dark, that'd be one thing, just a single app, But it signaled the fact that our government is pretty much unwilling to cooperate in almost every case. You hear about government shutdowns happening all the time. You hear about, they can never agree on anything, and except both houses almost unanimously agreed on this one bill to ban this social media platform and others like it, just because it's not owned by America and we can't control it. And I know the details themselves are more specific, but and so that kind of, it really, I guess, in the most basic way, it bugged me that a person who, I think he voted this way in the House before the election even happened, but I wasn't really aware of it. A person who I had voted for had acted in a way that I thought I was voting for the party that, represented free speech and that type of values, and I guess it's not really just a matter of what party it is, but just who the person is.
So there you can see, like, he's arguing with himself. He's not just trying to like say something in defense of himself and trying to make himself look as good as possible. He's arguing with himself while he's talking to the police that he voted for this guy, thinking that this guy was in the party of free speech, which I would say that keeping a foreign-controlled application, which has mentally destroyed our youths and made them crazy, turned them into strippers and prostitutes before they hit puberty, turned them into, well, literal corpses in plenty of cases. TikTok challenges, and if it wasn't TikTok, it'd be something else, I guess, but TikTok challenges have literally caused people to die. It happens all the time. So I don't see that there's much of a defense for something like TikTok. It is a explicitly bad thing. It brainwashes people into being worse versions of themselves and potentially dead versions of themselves. And it's made by a foreign country that made a ton of money off of it, then sold it to us for a ton of money and also scraped a ton of our personal information from it. It's not really about free speech anymore. It's like the right to bear arms doesn't apply to China. That's in our constitution, not China's constitution, right? So he's clearly getting like very emotional about certain aspects of this, very obsessive about things like the Constitution, which is why I feel like he's like maybe not necessarily more democratic, because I don't think the Democrats actually care about the Constitution. They're just using it as a weapon. But you can hear him arguing with himself and trying to come to a rational conclusion. That's why I want to say, like, he even said that he wasn't aware when he voted for the person. He wasn't aware of their previous things. Like, they're not just trying to blame it on everybody else, but man, it's just so frustrating. Like, I feel like just a slightly different path and he would have been living happily.
And so that's, I guess, ultimately the main reason that I guess I chose him. But for the past while, I'd already been feeling kind of like that.
Sure. Is it something that you had thought about doing prior to last night?
I had thought, not in terms of like non-peaceful acts, even last night included. I used to do peaceful protests for other sorts of issues too, and I guess I just found that it wasn't really doing anything, so I figured, oh, why not just take the next step? And obviously I think that was a smart choice, but I did it anyways.
And so there he said it wasn't a smart choice what he did. And right at the beginning, when he was in his prison jumper, his jail jumper, he said he's ruined his life over pretty much nothing. He said, so again, like this is someone I think is salvageable. Like he's acting. I mean, I said it too. He's ruined his life, but I really don't think he has. He's not done anything that is irreparable, right? This isn't some sort of, he didn't murder anybody or anything like that. This is someone who can still be salvaged. I said that before as well. And I hope he does whatever works for him, but I hope he does come back from whatever brink he's on, because he does seem like he's maybe even crying for help, but not in the same kind of way as the blue hair screaming, please help me, as he's doing everything he can to be arrested. This guy legitimately feels like he needs help, and I don't think it would be that hard for people around him to help him, because I don't know, I just feel like to one degree he needs to disconnect. I think maybe even go into politics, honestly. Like, hey, you've got Democrats out there with Nazi tattoos. About half the politicians have rape allegations against them. We've had presidents cheating on their wives whilst in the White House, and others that screw porn stars. Like, it's not exactly a bad look to have burnt down a congressman's office out of anger towards what he did after you voted for him. That could even be like a positive thing, depending on how you spin it, right? I just want people to really recognize what happens when politics is gamified, when it's trained into children, when you have school teachers teaching them things, teaching them the correct thing to do long before they're even thinking about politics. This guy's talking about what way the winds are blowing, how the country is changing. This is a young man. He's barely even been alive long enough to pay attention to the country as a whole.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
I guess just trying to understand, like, did you think about applying fire to the congressman's office?
Oh no!
Yesterday, last week.
That was kind of the first. That was kind of the first time that had kind of occurred, and it was mostly because, I mean, I was thinking about it, and I was kind of comparing it to, and other people were also kind of comparing the ban on TikTok to other, events in somewhat recent history, I guess, from the last few hundred years. And, obviously it's not the exact same thing, but they're kind of comparing it to, times like, I don't know, and again, I definitely mean it's not the same thing, but like, times like the French Revolution or the Boston Tea Party or something like that, where, societies or people are rebelling against their government because they don't like them. And so I kind of compared it to that, and I was like, okay, so why don't, I just do something like that?
So I think I'll leave it there. This is from Midwest Patrol, and I'll include a link to that as well. But you can hear what he said there. He's comparing it to things from the recent past, the somewhat recent past of hundreds of years ago, the Boston Tea Party and stuff, and Democrats. It's also why I'm thinking he might be like a little bit more like Dem coded, is like Democrats are constantly looking to the distant past to validate things now. Like, well, once upon a time, women weren't allowed to have bank accounts, so that means that now women should be allowed to have abortions. Once upon a time there was slavery, so now, you know, it's always like using ancient history for them, whereas it doesn't really apply to the modern world. And you can sort of understand, like, even as he's saying it, he's arguing with himself. I know that it's not really the same thing as the Boston Tea Party. I know that it's not really like that. So he's not full in. He's not full bore. He's not a blue hair. There's no septum piercing. He's not like that. He's just someone who is upset with the current state of things. And I think it's probably more about how politics has been gamified more than anything else, because it makes it hard to trust anything. It makes it hard to trust Republicans as well. When you're blaming Biden for literally everything, it can make it hard to trust the Republican Party, because at a certain point it does feel kind of like a cop-out. He sounds like someone who's just become kind of anti-government, but probably has a little bit of nationalism too, because it doesn't sound like he wants to be anti-government. Like, he's voting. He's trying to make the country a better place, right? He's probably a nationalist who's just upset with how helpless they feel and how bad everything seems like it's going. I think everything seems a lot worse than it actually is because of the gamification of politics. And it's not just politics, it's stuff on social media as well. I mean, you look at YouTube channels, like I've watched a lot of people react to this guy and to the blue hair, and as I said in the beginning, people are making fun of them, and I understand that, but this guy in particular, there's so many people who are like really angry at him, like insulting him and such. And I feel like this is someone where you should be offering them a helping hand, because he's clearly not like an evil person. He's clearly not like some psychopath. At least I wouldn't guess as much from what he did and why how he's talking and what he's saying, the arguments he's having with himself while he's talking. This seems like someone who's not crazy. This is someone who probably you could get along with and agree with if there was just a way to help them, you know. And that's sort of why I wanted to talk about them. One is a contrast with the previous guy, because the previous guy, there's probably no helping them. They seem like they have been mentally deep fried. Like they were born in TikTok and they still live in TikTok. Whereas this guy, TikTok wasn't really even relevant to him. It was more about free speech, and he didn't like TikTok being banned. And you know, there's comments about that as well. Like, I mean, I made it already. It's a foreign app that's not exactly friendly to us. Our constitution does not apply to China. But I think people are being really harsh on this guy. It just seems like he's someone who's straight off the path. And I guess that's my overall point, which is that the gamification of politics, the Democrats using bribery really to convince everyone of all these different specific demographics to vote for them, telling everyone that this is the way the world should be because that would make your life better. Well, your life, but not America. It wouldn't make America better. It wouldn't make society better. You're just promising these empty promises to specific demographics. And I don't know. It's funny to me. I mean, it's a white guy from Ohio, voted for Republican, then burned down his office because he didn't think the guy was following with what the Constitution said. He's being peacefully arrested without resisting. He's answering all of their questions. He answered where they get gasoline and matches from. Like, he's answered everything. He's gone out of his way to try and keep his parents out of it, to try and keep all the harm to a minimum. He seems like a guy who probably should have gone into politics, if I'm being honest. Like, he's probably a guy who wants to truly make the country a better place. And I'm not saying that he wants to like open the borders or anything like that. I don't know how he feels about any of that stuff, but he's probably got a little bit of left-wing training that's lodged into him somewhere, because he's young and he grew up on the internet, and the internet is mostly for young people, which the Democrats have exploited to indoctrinate young people into being very, very left-wing. So again, I'm going to link Midwest Patrol and Into the Blue in the bio down below if you would like to watch the whole thing. There's still a few minutes left, and I cut out probably about half the video. A lot of it was the arrest, but it's worth a full watch if you haven't seen it, or if you want to watch someone else react to it. It's very interesting. I think this guy is very interesting. The other guy, I mean, they're kind of interesting in a certain sort of way, like a gorilla at a zoo, I suppose. But I think the contrast between them is very interesting, and this mentality that people are starting to develop. And well, I don't think there's ever going to be any kind of civil war or Boston Tea Party or anything like that. There is some things are brewing, not a storm necessarily, but I think there is going to be this massive shift over the next couple of decades towards something. I would like it to be a more nationalist, pro-America sort of mentality, but depending on who ultimately takes the reins, it could be the complete pandemonium. It could be the communist agenda, Muslims, whoever, like whatever. It could be everyone fetishizing abortion again. Who knows where we're gonna go? But I just thought it was interesting, is all. So I wanted to commentate on it because a lot of people, I think, were being a little bit unfair to this guy. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things.